Okay, top 50 sports cards in my collection. I haven't done this in a couple of years. I did just do one of these over on a Mike Baseball Collectors channel across 5 separate videos. So I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about these cards in this video, but I wanted to get a top 50 up on my channel just to complete the series. I started with card 150, I think, last month or so. And so anyway, just kind of go through these pretty quick. You got the Bart Starr rookie here coming in at number 50. Actually, it's, close enough. I haven't updated the pricing on these cards in quite some time, except for I think a couple that are in the top 10, because they were rather dramatic differences from July of last year to now, or until like December when we put together that series. Munson, second year card. And I don't know when I'll do this again. And I say that because honestly, there's not a whole lot of cards I'm interested in getting kind of going forward. And I feel like I won't have much of a change on the list year over year. And I just don't really want to basically show the same shit all over again next year. So I'll probably, take at least a year off, 2, maybe 3. I guess we'll see. Here's a pretty modern card here in the mix. This Juan Soto, numbered out of 250, refractor update. I was asked what I thought about that contract or Juan Soto leaving the Yankees, and honestly, I was like, yeah, that contract's not going to look real good in about 5 or 6 years. So, kind of, I think they dodged a bullet. As much as I would have liked to have had his bat in the lineup, and he'll be great for the next few years, several years, but I think they offered him 16 years, which is ridiculous. So anyway, they were able to retool and restock the team with players they needed to fill out a lot of holes they had in the lineup going into this year. Here's a high number. This is up here, this high. It's a high number, and it's or an SP or whatever, and it's an 8, which is a tough grade for 71. That's why this random Don Baylor, Dusty Baker card falls on the list so high. Here's Griffey Jr. There's a bazillion of those cards out there. So my collecting focus nowadays is stuff like this, and what I mean by that is low grade, but with really high eye appeal, and that's easier said than done. And when you do come across that type of card or that meets that criteria, you are going to pay up for it, probably at least 1 grade higher. In some case, 2 or 3 more grades depending on the card. For example, that recent REA Babe Ruth Gowdy, that PSA 2 sold for $33,000. And this is card number 41, the Bob Gibson rookie card, nicely centered. And I will gather these up and be right back with the next 10. All right, moving on to number 40, this Bowman color Mickey Mantle. You know who likes ranking and pricing cards? John. John loves it when people, John Mangini, when people rank their cards and then put prices on them. So this video is dedicated to John, if he's watching. Berra. Yeah, this is one of the few cards I picked up this year. And I went through that in a recent year in review video, which I'm only doing now because I don't want to break the streak. I feel like if I skipped a year, then I have OCD about it. So I keep putting them out. And this past year, I probably had the least amount of pickups, I think I said it in the video, that I'd had in 10 years. I only bought 3 baseball cards, and that Berra being one of them. It's Tom Brady, rookie from Upper Deck. And then I bought a Hack Wilson, and then I bought a Ruth at the National, which you'll see later here, and that was in July, and that is the last card that I picked up. And I started wondering, am I starting to kind of like get over collecting cards? I don't know. I mean, I kind of got into coins a little bit, and that has me interested. Not really graded coins per se, or as they say, numismatic value coins, but just, silver and gold in general, I guess, stacking ounces Just another store of value, not unlike these types of cards here, right? So some other investment I could kind of dick around with. And there's a story behind why I'm doing that. I won't go into it. If you follow my channel, you know what happened. Sandy Koufax, rookie card, and I guess this is, what, 32 in my collection, this 6. And then makes 31, this nice Brooks Robinson rookie card. 57 tops. All right, so that is 40 through 31. I'll be right back with the next 10. So here's another one of those examples of, it's kind of like a fun and difficult way to collect. Again, the high eye appeal, but low grade kind of, key card. That has the paper loss on the back. I don't really care about it. And this was, for those that don't remember, or if you're new to my channel, this was a BVG1. And in the slab, I knew, first of all, it's a hideous slab. This was the best example, eye appeal-wise, I'd come across in years. And so I bid strong with the intent to crack out and send to PSA, which I did. I was hoping, optimistic, for a 0.5 bump, but it wasn't to be had. And I think PSA is stricter now, or so I'm told. Grading cards. These 81 Topps cards have all kind of taken off in the high grade. Of course, people will look at this and say, well, it's an older flip, it's whatever. But yeah, I know the Nolan Ryan sold for some big money not that long ago, and somebody else. And then there's Henderson's second year. And the reason why I bought the Henderson was because his 80 Topps in a PSA 10 made some news, and it was like, well into the 5 figures for that card. I thought, well, how about a second year 10? And I went around looking for that, and I found one a few years ago. Here's Gwynn's rookie. This is like a few $100 card at the time I purchased it, and I forget, but it's definitely like 6 or 7 years ago or more. Again, another low-grade, high eye appeal card. This is a Ty Cobb Piedmont red portrait with a little bit of paper loss here on the border. And you can see that there. Pete Rose, rookie card. This nice Willie Mason. So years ago, I had my eyes on a PSA 8. Better center than this copy, if you could imagine that. It was a PSA 8. And I just kind of like hem and hawed over it. I had it in my watch list. I had that and like a Tom Seaver rookie in a 7.5. I remember the Maze was $1,400. The price kept coming down. The card was not moving. And at one point, I got down to $1,400. Buy it now. And the same as with the Seaver. And I think I had just gone through where I'd bought a lot of stuff, didn't really have the money, didn't feel comfortable spending any more money. And then once it was gone, then I was like, shit, I should have bought that card. Of course, who hasn't been there before? But, it's a 7.5. And I paid twice what that 8 went for, like in 2017 or whatever it was. But just a really nice sharp card, that Maze. Here's a Hank Aaron rookie. Classic vintage rookie card. Here's my Mantle. In hindsight, I kind of probably should have scrutinized a little more. This is going back over 15 years when I bought this, and you can see it's kind of faded, and maybe that's why I got it. I think at the time I was happy it was a little bit less expensive than what others were going for, and if I recall, this was like in a $750 range, something like that. But yeah, it's definitely doesn't have very good color, but it's a 6. It meets the criteria, right? But if I price this out, I tend to price it out on the low end of 6s, just to account for that, what I perceive to be a whitewashed appearance to it. Here's Ryan's rookie, coming in at number, 22, I guess. 7.5. Centering's not great. Of course, in most cards, most of this particular card centering isn't great anyway, so still nice nonetheless. Nolan Ryan rookie card. And then a Ty Cobb, which I think is a generous too. I don't know. I guess, when I price this out, I price it as a low end too. If you look here, it's like there's paper loss on the back, And maybe at the time this was graded, that was acceptable. As far as dating this one, probably 2016, I don't remember. I'm not sure if I was living here or not at the time. I think I was. But I got it from a dealer in New Jersey. So anyway, that'll bring us into the top 20. So I'll get these put away and I'll be right back. Okay, number 20. In fact, I bought this car from the same guy that I bought that Cobb from. And when I went to pick this one up, this was Bob Beck in New Jersey. I don't know if he still has a store. But when I picked this up, he had shown me he had just gotten in a bunch of these T206 cars. They were ungraded. And months later, I remember the card. I called him and see if he had ever got it graded. What did it get? And he said it's the 2. And I think he wanted $640 for it. It's like an odd number, but I remember that. Another Cobb. I guess I sort of stealth collect PC Ty Cobb cards. This is kind of cool. This American Caramel. Batting. He has one where he's throwing, I think. Another card in that set. But I like that one better. Dandy Mantle. Centering sucks. Yeah, centering bothers me, but what are you going to do? Early on in my vintage collecting days. Here's a nice Joe DiMaggio with a centered tilt. It's tilted. You look. Increasing border here. Increasing border as you go down the other side. But, still a nice card. Lou Gehrig, 2.5. Ty Cobb. Bad off shoulder. And the polar bear back, so I did pay up for this card. It looks great. Yeah, maybe an overpay at the time. Of course, this was... When did I get this? I think it was in 2023. Did I buy this one? I don't know. But anyway, don't regret it because they tend to not look that good. Also, I think I bought this not long after the Cobb. And there's a mark, but you can't see it. Unless it's these, I mean, each of these 4 corners has like a white to it. Maybe there was some, I don't know, tape? I mean, I have no idea. There's also maybe a pencil. Well, whatever. So it's got a qualifier, but it looks great. Really nice eye appeal. Color pops on that one. This one, probably trimmed. A little bit of a jiggle in there. And I say that because I did buy it from a known trimmer who was outed after the fact. So who the hell knows, right? Shohei Ohtani. This was a big card. This one, it was, I don't know what I valued. This one's like maybe 4, 5, something like that. But I do recall when I forgot what record he set or what metric he hit, but this sold for $7,500 at one point. I want to say it was in August or September of last year. It quickly came down, but maybe it was 50 home runs. I don't know. He did something important, and that shot that price way up. Here's Mays coming in at number 11, 52 tops. Some people say a considerable bargain compared to the Mickey Mantle 52 tops. I can't say I disagree with that assessment. Really nice. I really want to nitpick. Their centering is not the greatest top and bottom, but whatever. Okay, so that's going to take us to the top 10. And that's it. I'll be right back. Another Ty Cobb coming in at number 10, the green portrait. So I have the set. I have the set of T206 Cobbs. And they're all basically, here's the RF. Somebody put their initials on there, but really nice color though on this card. And really expensive too. I think it might have maintained its market value from when I bought it. I mean, I'm into it for $4,900. I think $5,000. Green Cobb coming at number 10. Number 9 is this Jackie Robinson Bowman in a nice 6th grade. Centering's okay, not perfect, but nice crispy corners and good color. Second year Jackie. Wouldn't mind picking up the 49. It's not on my current list of things I'm looking at, but I'd say it's on the periphery. And of course, I make these lists, and every time I make a list, I always deviate from it, so it almost doesn't even matter. But I'm going to try to stick to the 5 card target cards I did put together. Brady's rookie. Wish I sold this card. There's probably a bazillion of these out there. PSA 10. Willie Mays. So this was $2,000, and I think I convinced the guy. Sales tax was a new thing on eBay, and I didn't want to spend more than whatever it was, and he lowered the price by the amount of what the sales tax would have been, which I thought was nice of him. And this was somebody in Connecticut, and I forget the dealer because I'm in Connecticut. But really nice maze. I mean, great centering. And here's a Joe DiMaggio, I guess first mainstream rookie card. The 36 Worldwide Gum is just like one of those cards the average person's not gonna be able to get. So I guess this is the mainstream, and I didn't like it at first. I thought it was silly, goofy, and then over time it started to grow on me to the point where I decided I wanted to have one, and this came up, and I remember working pretty quickly. It had just been listed, and I immediately started working something out with the guy, but I did it on eBay. I think it was like listed for I forgot what he had, $4,000. I think I paid $3,500 for it. So it's PSA 5 with a qualifier of a mark, which is this thing here, like a smear or smudge, maybe some ink, but whatever. I mean, it's not obtrusive at all. It's kept the price down because I'm sure a straight 5 at the time would have been substantially more money than that. So I'm happy with that. Jordan rookie. Centering's not the greatest, but it's Jordan's rookie. Wish I had sold it. Wish I had sold it and rebought it. A lot of these cards I have here, I wish I had resold. At least the easier to find modern things, right? These vintage things. No, I'm glad I held on to them. And here's the last card I picked up 6 months ago at the National. This Ruth in a 1. People say, why is that a 1? I can't believe that's a 1. I posted this on Instagram recently. And it's this here, paper loss. And there's sort of a surface wrinkle that cuts across here and one that kind of meets it over here, right? It doesn't go through the other side as far as I can tell, but it's there. And so I think the highest grade this can get is a 1, maybe 1.5. But the centering's outstanding, and so is the color. So again, the type of card I'm going after, if possible, again, these types of cards, and I paid $8,400 for this card. Ones, if you look at it's one of those cards where you can't rely on VCP data to establish a price on it, right? Because the ones on VCP don't look anywhere near as good as that. So you really can't establish a value until you sell it, right? It's what someone's willing to pay for it. How much more they're willing to pay for it than what the average market is for a traditional, typical looking one. Here's number 3 and a PSA 2, the Gotti Ruth, the most commonly available one. And my favorite of the bunch. I think a lot of people agree with that too. Just the batting pose. Essentially, it's just this torso blown up in that same image. Number 2, Mickey Mantle. Paper loss again. Not as. This was $3,000, and I thought, well, I'll deal with that to have a front that looks like this. And that was years ago, mind you. That was probably a little bit more than what a typical 1.5 would have sold for. But I will again pay up for high eye appeal. Beyond the numerical grade, I'll pay up a grade or two. And this is my best card as far as value goes. It's also my ugliest card in my collection, possibly. The Mantle, not the rookie. Caught myself there. The 52 Topps Mantle. And I've said it 1,000 times. As I was building out his collection of cards, I had resigned myself to the fact that I probably would never be able to own this card. And so ahead of that, I ended up buying one of those 83 Tops anniversary mantles, like the first ever official mantle reprint, and like a PSA 8. And those aren't even cheap. That was like $80, I think, when I bought it in an 8. But fortunately enough, I was able to get this to close out the basic PSA registry set that I don't have on the registry, but I have the cards that would qualify for that. Anyway, that's going to do it. So that's it. That's my top 50. Next up for me, because I don't foresee a whole lot of cards coming my way, my son will get cards, and maybe you'll see those videos. But as far as me personally, no, I don't expect a lot in the next few months here. So in order to keep the content flowing, what I'm going to do is start scraping the bottom of my collection barrel. And I might throw together some countdowns or ranking or lists or whatever, starting at card number 500, because I don't think I've gone down that far in the list yet. Joe and I, we did it. We made it to like 300, I think, or 3 something. So I'll be showing just cards that are probably like all $50 a piece, in that range, $50 to $100. I don't know. But at least, again, to keep the card content going, of course, there's the coin stuff now that I'm into. Comic books, not so much. But yeah, we'll see what 2025 brings. So that's a wrap on my top 50, give or take. But yeah, you guys, I think you guys all get it. And if you want to see me talk more about the cards, Mike has it on his channel over the course of 5 videos. And the next time this will happen, who knows? Definitely not next year. Still TBD. Anyway, thanks for watching.